Hello, my name is Dr. Webb and I am one of the professors that teaches ABED 3100. I'm here to tell you about the presentation that you're going to be doing for your team project. So as you already know, you're going to be doing a recommendations proposal. That has been described in another video as well as in the guidelines. But today we're going to talk about the presentation that you're going to be required to do along with an outline. And these things will be in your course den as you move through the weeks. And the presentation itself will be worth 100 points, and there'll be an outline that will be worth 25 points. So just going through the directions, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to be creating your presentation using Office Mix. That's the same application that I'm using right now to create this video. So you're going to be using PowerPoint slides, and then you're going to be putting your image in as a thumbnail in each of the slides, which you'll see in another video that will actually walk you through the process. So the first thing you're going to need to do is go to Office Mix, and you have to get Microsoft PowerPoint 2013. If you don't already have it, you'll need to go to the ITS website on campus, and you can get Microsoft Office 365. That includes all the new 2013 Office products. And from there, once you do that, you'll be able to go into OfficeMix.com and you'll be able to download the app for Office Mix. Once you're in Office Mix, as you can see from this information here on this slide, there's a tab that appears called Mix, and it will let you do slide recordings and screen recordings. So each member of the team will end up going into this PowerPoint, downloading this Mix to their PowerPoint program, and then the team members will individually record in different locations using this tool. After you record your slides, you'll end up saving it to Google Drive, and then another team member will go in, download the Google PowerPoint, and they'll record on their slides. And the next person will go into Google Drive, download the PowerPoint, and then record their dialogue on their slides. So each person will be able to do it at different times in different locations using the PowerPoint 2013 and Office Mix. Please be aware that if you have a Mac, you might have some trouble downloading the Office Mix or possibly the 2013 PowerPoint. If so, you need to go to, I think it is Boot Camp, in order to make sure that they work cohesively together. Okay, the next thing that you're going to do is actually develop your presentation. And in this presentation, it's only going to be 15 minutes long. You're going to have your opening, where you're going to hook your audience and be creative and interesting. We're going to be discussing this more in Chapter 14. The next thing you're going to do is have your body of your presentation. The body of your presentation is going to include these key points. You're going to have points on the introduction to your consulting company, statement of need, internal and external communications, and recommendations. And then the close, you're going to need to have a mandatory takeaway, and you're going to have a strong conclusion that will want your audience to work with your consulting company. There's a video that shows you some examples of company logos, company names, as well as company takeaways from the presentations. So you'll want to look at that. The next step is at the very end of your presentation, you're going to have a question and answer session. Now, the questions are all listed here in this table. Each member of the team will select one of these questions, and they'll put it on the PowerPoint, this slide, and then using Office Mix and the full screen function, you'll actually be answering these questions as if you were in front of an audience. The advantage that you have by recording it is that you'll be able to think of your responses, whereas if you were in front of an audience and you didn't know what questions were coming at you, it would be a little bit more impromptu. So you have to be aware of that. But the response shouldn't take more than a minute. It should be pretty quick, but reassuring your audience that they can feel comfortable working with your consulting group. Remember, the key to this proposal and presentation is to be persuasive. So you need to make sure that you're as persuasive as possible when delivering your presentation and answering your questions at the end. You're going to be learning a lot more information about what's expected in terms of visual support. We're going to talk to you about setting up your PowerPoint slides so that they have images and that they are memorable and meaningful and connect with your audience. The actual delivery of your presentation, you'll be graded on a lot of different areas, including the content of the slides, the way the slides visually look. You'll be looking at making sure everything goes in an organized manner, and then individually you'll be graded on your delivery. So if you yourself are lacking in areas like eye contact or body language or enthusiasm or elocution, then your grade might be different from your team members. So you want to make sure that you know that you are being graded individually on your delivery and making sure that you are dressed appropriately as well. When you're doing your slides, you're going to want to make sure you look at the webcam. This program, this application of Office Mix, has a teleprompter in it, so you could actually read off your screen of what you wanted to say, but you want to make sure you look at your camera so it doesn't look like you're reading. And you'll end up delivering this to your professor using Google Drive, because with the videos attached to each slide, it turns out to be a really big file. And by putting it in Google Docs or Google Drive, by the due date, your professor can take it off and turn it into a YouTube video that you and your class members will be able to view. The next section that I wanted to talk to you about was part 4. I actually skipped part 3, which is the information about team meetings, for another video, as well as the final steps of the project, which would include a survey and a video critique. But I'm going to have you take a look at part 4. This is going to be your participation. What you're going to do is each of these team videos, as mentioned before, is going to be posted on YouTube. Your participation is, first of all, each member of the class is going to be responsible for creating a complimentary comment on each team's video after you've watched it. So you can see down here below, this is an example of a team using Microsoft Office and Office Mix, and you can see it's posted on YouTube, and down below those are comments from their classmates, and of course it's too small to read, but it has positive comments, so it lets the person that's giving the presentation or the team that's giving the presentation know some of the feedback. They can get that immediately. And when you do those responses, you're going to be pretending as if you are that department or you are that organization. So it's not so much on the presentation itself, but how you, as someone that wants to hire that consulting company, how you respond to that presentation. And again, positive. The second thing will be an anonymous peer review survey, and each team will have its own survey that you will give some ratings to, and prior to the presentations, you'll be given a survey link. You'll need to record your name, but all the responses are going to be kept anonymous. And then at the end, the professor will end up sending all these anonymous comments to the team so they can see more constructive comments, not just the positive comments that were put on YouTube. So that is what to expect from participation, and as you can see, it is 40 points of your project grade. So you want to make sure you do a good job, and if you have any questions, make sure you ask your professor. Thank you.